Welcome, beautiful family, to yet another episode of Yolking Around.
Hello, everyone.
The podcast where we talk about news, pop culture, and life reflections. My name is Derek Mayo, and with me,
Diana.
how are you today, Diana?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to record today.
I can tell.
Yeah.
I can tell you're excited. There's something about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you seem more.
I feel good. I got my Topo Chico.
Damn,
It's Sunday.
advertisement.
I know.
Straight to the advertisement.
I would love to be sponsored by them.
You would like to be sponsored by Topo Chico? Topo Chico, if you want to be here.
The door's wide open.
We're heavy consumers. I don't know if that's something to be proud about. Nah, not heavy is a strong word. Nah, definitely not heavy. We're doing good, fam. We're doing good. Today's episode is gonna be very, very dark.
Oh, yeah.
So just letting you guys know that there's gonna be some dark topics that we are gonna be addressing, but there's also some fun things. So don't worry, but
Gotta mix it up a little bit.
yes, but we do have some dark stuff to talk about. So just bracing yourselves, and yeah, just trigger warning for some of these topics that we'll be touching.
Yeah, but it's real shit, shit that gotta be talked about.
Yeah. But before we get too into the weeds about it, let's start with our life reflection.
Ooh, okay.
So today I woke up and I felt a discomfort on my back.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It wasn't muscular.
Uh-huh.
But I felt like a pinch in the back of my back.
Oh, shit. Was it, like, sharp or?
No. I checked later on. I checked in the shower, and it turns out I got a pimple.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Not a back pimple.
Yes, I got a back pimple, dude.
Fuck.
And for those of you guys listening, I know this might be a little bit of TMI, but I wanted to ask you, have you ever had a pimple that was very, very painful?
Yes. I think the most painful, because to be honest, I did have acne as a teen, but I feel like I definitely.
Did you have acne, or did you have acne as a teen? There's levels to this shit.
I mean, technically, even if you have one pimple, you have acne.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say I had a very mild case of acne relatively to other people. However, whenever I get a pimple next to my nostrils, oh my God, those fucking hurt
the nostril
so
ones?
bad, dude. Or the ear pimples.
The ear pimples fucking blow,
those
dude.
suck ass.
And they're so nasty. Like, have you ever popped those?
They're disgusting.
One of the times, I got one right on my, like, I don't know what, the little ball, like right next to your ear right here.
Yeah.
That little thing. I got one right there, and it was so fucking deep.
Hurt so bad.
I cracked it and just shit squirted out. It's
Fuck.
It was
well,
so
the
nasty.
worst part is whenever I haven't had an ear zit in a long time, but whenever I used to have them more frequently, I would sometimes forget it's there, and then I'd go in with a Q-tip, and that shit hurt.
Yeah, no, I struggled a lot with acne. Yeah, heavily. It's actually kind of a sensitive topic for me.
Right.
Of how much it affected me physically and psychologically. Honestly, I think acne is one of those things that is not talked about as much.
Well, it can lead to some, emotional trauma because kids are fucked up. Like, people will make fun of you for shit that's not even your fault. It's just your bodying.
Yes. I remember my mom telling me a story where she used to struggle with acne, and one time this guy, I think it was like just a random guy was inappropriate towards her because of her acne, saying that she was like very hormonal or whatever.
What? Oh my, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, dude, it's people get really stupid with that shit, like especially growing up in like middle school and high school. I know it's like it forges you, but acne is a serious thing.
Oh yeah.
And it's very for a lot of people it's very hurtful,
yeah, and it can literally leave scars. I mean, both emotional and physical.
Yeah I didn't mean to drift off that far, but yeah, I got a back pimple and it hurt a lot. One of the most painful ones I've had was on my ass cheek, actually.
Oh, I've never had one of those.
Yes, the ass ones hurt so bad, and because it's like there's no room for it to like really, it's tight, at least younger me was tight. And it was like very deep.
And would it hurt every time you pop a squat?
Yeah, every time you sat down, it was like somebody was like put in a needle
Oh
sort of
my
in your,
gosh.
like a dull needle type thing in my ass.
That is horrible.
Yeah, I actually talking about acne and everything. Clarisil, Clinique, and Proactive are in scrutiny right now.
I can guess.
Yes.
Is this something to do with something in their products causing cancer or some bullshit?
Yes,
Oh
like
my
a lot of
God.
things. It's something. Carcinogens were
It's
found.
so bad.
Heavy carcinogens were found on these products that were very popular. At least when I was in high school, I remember using Proactive, and it took a while to obtain because it was so expensive.
Yo, Proactive was it back in the day.
Oh yeah, they were. Their market was so huge. They must have made millions of dollars.
Yes.
Like, I remember having to do orders over the phone because I couldn't do the. They always try to get you onto the monthly thing.
Yeah.
And we didn't know. We didn't know if I was gonna have money to be able to buy the products, right?
Right.
So
Do you remember how expensive it was?
it was around $60. I want to say it could,
For a month's supply.
for a month's supply, and then getting like the 3-step treatment that got very
yes,
popular,
the
right?
steps.
The clarifying lotion and the special toner. I can't remember what it was, clarifying toner or something, and then the facial scrub.
All right.
Well, in these products, there's a benzoyl peroxide, which is one of the agents that helps the acne treatment, right? To
Okay.
reduce the redness, kill the bacteria in there. But apparently, they found that there was this carcinogen called benzene, heavy amounts of it.
Huh.
And it says benzene is a known human carcinogen, and it was found in these products containing benzoyl peroxide, a chemical used to treat acne at a level of over 800 times the concentration limit of 2 parts per million set by the U.S.
Whoa.
The Food and Drug Administration in March 6 reported that the drug product was found to be fundamentally unstable, especially when
Yo.
stored in high temperatures. The report found a Proactive product left in 158 degrees Fahrenheit of a hot compact car resulted in the detection of benzene at around 1,270 times the Environmental Protection Agency threshold. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, you can't even like get rid of your fucking acne without getting cancer.
Well, that's
you
how
know?
it is. I mean, I can't speak for other countries, but I just feel like there was something else lately that came up, and there's always fucking something that comes up right there. Oh, they have carcinogen and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But it's
Everything at this point has
so
carcinogens.
Annoying. Like, you can't fucking avoid it. Like, it's just too impossible. It's too ingrained into our food, into our products, even everything.
Yeah,
You can't win. You can't.
It's fucked up.
I think I heard a statistic that and I tried to remember it, but I think it's something like 40. It's likely that throughout your lifetime, you're 40% likely to get some type of cancer, just like anybody.
40%?
Yeah, that's
That
pretty
is
high,
fucking
huh?
high, dude.
That's fucking ridiculous.
That is fucking high. Well, yeah, and everything, we can't escape it. It's in plastics. It's everywhere, from the things we drink, from the things we eat. It's inevitable. At this point, it's more fucked up. Like, if we know that we're going to get cancer because of the FDA not being regulated, then we should at least get some sort of form of cancer cure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, we still got fucking people going through chemotherapy, poisoning their blood in order to get rid of this.
Well, that's why it's always so hard to trust something right off the bat that's FDA approved, because then I feel like most of the time, after years after, something comes up like this is gonna have some type of harmful effect on you.
No, and a lot of the research that is out there is it's not as deep as you might think. There's a lot of things that might be corroborating something that you believe, but the studies might be very surface level. They're not peer reviewed, and sometimes they can use something as small of as a nuance in a result to.
I see.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
to exacerbate,
exactly, yes.
or to over-explain
Yeah, they
something.
exacerbate the fucking results.
Yeah, exactly.
Extrapolate like one statistic.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're like, technically we did get this result, but it's not very consistent. But technically
But it is a possibility.
So we are going to be branding this.
It is within reasonable doubt.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up. It's just hard. you know, even if you have a list of exactly, you know, this is what you need to do in order to avoid this type of cancer, like, it's just, there's just too
Yeah.
much, you know? And
Yeah.
I think that the exact
40% is a lot, dude.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
lot.
And I think not too long ago they found like some sunscreens like have
Oh,
that, too.
yeah.
And I was like, what's the fucking point of this? Like, I'm okay, maybe I'm solving one thing, but then I'm creating debatably a bigger problem.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's fucking, it's so fucked up. It's fucked up. Like, there's no way. The thing that you use to repel the potential cancer gives you cancer.
It's so fucking
Is
hypocritical.
Yeah. I'm like, dude,
contradictory.
this is capitalism at its
That's what it
finest.
is. That's what it is.
It is. It's the hypocrisy of it
Yeah.
all. It's like, yeah, we're going to sell you this cure that's going to also fuck you up because we're not regulated, because fuck being regulated. We're going to pay the government to not be regulated. Yeah.
You
So,
have no trust in the FDA.
yeah. So, there's levels to acne, coming back to that.
Yeah.
I always think you have beautiful skin.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I
even
mean, I
with no
feel
makeup
pretty
on, so.
confident without makeup. Fortunately, I think I've always had semi-clear skin, you know. I mean, relatively to other people. Like, my older brother had really bad acne when I was, because we were like teenagers together, and I remember he used to struggle a lot with that, and I always felt so lucky that I didn't have to go through that, because it's rough.
Yeah, dude.
It fucks with your self-esteem. Like, I already had self-esteem issues, and maybe God was like, I'm gonna give her a break. She's not gonna have acne because she already struggling.
yeah. I felt like God handed all the challenges to me, right?
You needed some humbling. Apparently.
Yeah, I needed some humbling. Thank you, God. I got the message.
He went too far.
Yeah, homeboy, like, yeah. He roasted me, bro. No, it's sad because when I was in high school, part of the shyness that I lived, because I was an immigrant. I was, English was my second language. I'm growing up in a different culture.
Well, even that in of itself is very hard, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And on top of that, you get terrible acne. It was terrible, dude. It was so bad. It was so bad, and people are so cruel. And I missed out on a lot of school dances because of it, and I missed out a lot of like just social gatherings in general because I just did not feel comfortable with myself. It's very sad.
Yeah, it's very sad what happens to people. They just feel like they can't, be in public, and I get it, because there are people that are cruel,
Oh yeah, no questions. I mean, even your family members, it's sad, and it's ignorance. And every time I see somebody, whether that's a young fella or an older person, because acne affects even older people.
Of course.
I try to have a lot of respect for it because I know what it feels to be like uncomfortable that way, and it's not good to point fingers or anything.
No, and I think there's definitely like some irony to how some people, at least that I've noticed, sometimes they think that people that have a face full of acne it's because they're dirty. But I really would argue that people that have the most acne their faces are probably more clean than people who
Dude,
don't
I was
have
washing
acne.
my face religiously. I was trying all sorts of things. So yes, I'm not gonna generalize, but I would say that a grand majority, yes, your hands have to be clean, because if you're touching your face, if you're washing your face, make sure that you're using the right soap, the right amount of soap, and
washing your hands right too.
Exactly, 3 times a day, 2 times a day. You have to be very religiously following this routine. And another thing that's fucked up about the skincare industry is the way they use marketing to get through people's desperation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that's marketing all the time, right? But it's more fucked up because they really do play with your illusion, like, oh, look at the results of this person in this amount of time, and sometimes they don't deliver.
You just unlocked a memory because remembering what the advertisements were like, I always remember they would always do like celebrities that already have fucking perfect skin. It's like, what's the point of advertising this acne medicine to someone who already has like clear skin?
Well, and when it comes to celebrities, that's a whole different ballgame, because a lot of the times pictures are very photoshopped.
Oh yes,
you know what I mean. So the person, like, you might see him in person and they might have their regular flaws, just aging, regular stuff, honestly. And because you're used to looking at somebody on a magazine or a video camera, then you're like, there's no way their skin is
Yeah.
perfect, I find it even cool when there's imperfections in their skin. It gives
A
that,
sense of realism.
yeah, a sense of realism to that person, to that actor. I think she was
Jennifer Aniston too.
Jennifer Aniston.
She was a big one.
Yeah.
In the skincare industry in general, I feel like she's been in a lot of commercials.
Yeah,
Jennifer
she's
Gardner,
beautiful.
of course.
It's
Yeah,
like,
of course.
I don't know if you've seen this trend on TikTok of girls, mostly girls, guys too, I've seen it, sharing their skincare routine.
Right.
And they put on like 5 lotions. It's just like fucking ridiculous too. I'm like, you're like 15. Why do you need such an intense skincare routine? Like it's like, I'm gonna put this lotion and this firming bullshit, and then I'm gonna put makeup, and then I'm gonna take it off, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on with this video? So
it's almost too much.
Yeah.
Well, you reminded me of one time I saw how Salma Hayek, like, she described her skincare routine.
Oh, I think I've seen part of that video. Yes,
I do. I don't remember the full thing, but I do remember distinctly that she recommended to not wash your face in the morning because that's when you have all your natural oils, and so like wait until later in the day to wash your face.
Okay.
That's for her. I personally could not stand that. Like, I need to I wash my face twice a day. I just can't stand the feeling. I'm a very greasy person. Like, I need to wash my face.
Yeah, different types of skin. Exactly.
Right.
I had very oily skin as a kid, and now it's a lot more drier. So it's kind of weird. Yeah, it definitely a difference. Which has helped in that sense. But coming back to Salma Hayek, I mean, you're talking about like good diet, access to doctor, having health care.
Yes.
I mean,
privileges
just
we should all have.
Stay away from bad energies, and you'll look radiant every morning. Bitch, I can't. I'm sorry, but I can't. I fucking hate my dog sometimes. I don't have a dog, but there's probably people out there like, God damn it, I gotta take you out right now. I was sleeping so good.
Yeah. There's just, when you talk about celebrities, that's just a whole different ballgame. They just have other privileges that the commoner doesn't have. So.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, I mean, I'm not judging anybody, but
it's just a simple fact.
Yeah, but don't come at me telling me, oh, I look gorgeous because I've never done Botox. Like, come on, bro. Come on. Like, you have access to the best fucking dermatologists, dietitians,
clean water. Fuck.
Yeah. Clean water, yeah. It's not the same. Another topic that I wanted to bring, it's I guess it's kind of a news before we enter fully into the meat and potatoes of it all, was the New Jersey / New York earthquake that happened.
Oh,
did you hear about it?
I did not, actually.
This last Friday, 4.8 magnitude earthquake hit the city of New Jersey, and it reached out all the way through New York and parts of Maine and Virginia, I want to say.
Okay.
And it says the residents in surrounding states in New York City on Friday morning felt what was one of the strongest earthquakes in the state's history.
I was going to say, is probably the first time, at least that I can remember, of there actually being an earthquake there.
Yeah, there is fault lines apparently all over the ground, but it was very very uncommon.
Okay.
Like, but they are active tectonic plates or whatever going underneath the city, and they got to feel it on Friday.
And I want to say that's probably like a mid-sized earthquake, because
I don't know what the Richter scale goes up to. Honestly, I'm not gonna sit here like I'm a specialist in geology, but it reached out 5 miles north of White House Station in New Jersey at about 10:23 a.m. on Friday. And according to the United States Geological Survey, the epicenter was about 45 miles from New York City, where residents reported shaking furniture and floors. Have you seen the videos?
No, I haven't.
It's fucked up, man. It's very scary.
Earthquakes are terrifying.
It's very scary.
Weather in general is just so scary.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. We've been having, like, tremendous wind.
Oh, yeah. For like 24 hours, yeah.
Yeah, it was tremendous. My friend showed me a video of a full mature pine tree just being knocked down.
That's just wild.
Because of wind. Yeah.
Nature's a force to be reckoned with.
Yes. It seems like as humans, we don't even respect it sometimes. We don't even understand. We're just like, it's just some rain. You
Well,
know?
it's just a little, sometimes people in the worst snowstorms in Colorado, they still go out, just like, they're like, I'll be fine.
Yeah, in shorts.
Yeah, it's like the audacity.
Yeah, there's people out there that are Colorado natives, I guess, if you will, but they will wear shorts and just a t-shirt and say like, oh, this is perfect.
Nothing.
Yeah, at what temperature you start putting on, you say this is enough. I cannot handle a short t-shirt.
I'm very sensitive to the cold, so I would say about like 45 degrees.
45 degrees is decent.
Yeah.
I'd say around 50, 45.
Yeah.
I say, it's time for maybe like a longer sleeve.
At least a light jacket.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
yeah.
A longer sleeve.
Longer sleeve, yeah, at least. But yeah, no, that's not bad at all. That you were gonna say like maybe 60 degrees. There's people that are very cold like that.
Yeah, I mean, we'll say 50.
50. Okay.
So were there any injuries or stuff that you've known of?
I did not hear of any reports of people dying or anything.
Good.
Thank God. Yeah. I guess it was a lot of people felt it, but I did not read anything about injuries. Yeah, I mean, like
if because you mentioned it was one of the top earthquake, like one of the strongest earthquakes in the state.
Yeah, according to the United States Geological Survey.
It's not something that's very common, so I imagine, there's also a degree where there's a shock factor of, oh, wow, I've never experienced this before, and this is scary,
Yes, imagine, eating your cereal and all of a sudden, like, what the fuck is going on, And
you can't do it. I mean, you can do things to be safer, but you can't stop the earthquake. It's just something you have to deal with.
Oh, yeah, it's something so weird. Earthquakes are one of the most craziest things because you literally cannot control what's going on the ground. Like, the ground is just not giving a fuck about the stillness of reality. It's just gonna move.
Yeah.
And it's insane. I mean, buildings collapse because of it. And I don't even think New York is built to be able to take
probably not. Those buildings are
earthquakes.
Pretty tall.
Yeah, imagine if like a serious one, like, and there could be other ones that there could be like an aftershock or whatever.
Yeah, there's always that.
And although they tend to be smaller in scale, it's always a possibility. But yeah, I don't think those buildings are fully made for their equilibrium to be fucked up like that.
Have you ever gone through an earthquake?
I've never gone through an earthquake, no, and knock on wood, man. Yeah, even though I think this is fake wood, but we're gonna knock on it too.
Well, I low-key remember in your old apartment in Junction.
Oh yeah.
There was technically like a little one, and I low-key felt it, but it was very, very, very mild.
Oh yeah. There was a couple years ago, more than a couple years ago. There was an earthquake here in Colorado. And apparently some people felt it, but it was like a very mild.
It was like nothing, really.
Yeah, it was like a very mild earthquake.
I kind of thought I was in my head a little bit, and then I read later that it actually did happen. But it was like nothing compared to what New York has gone through.
I don't know if this is true, don't quote me, but rumor had it that because they do fracking in Colorado, that might have caused.
Oh shit! I mean, maybe.
Like they might have tampered with the fault or some sort.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm not. It's a rumor, like I said. It's a rumor, but yeah, we did have a small earthquake, and then we used to live. I used to live in front of a train track, so it felt like every morning.
Yeah.
At around 8 a.m., it felt like an earthquake.
Well, let me put it to you like that: the train tracks were stronger than the earthquake I felt. So.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, very mild.
Yeah.
But hopefully, everybody in New York is doing good.
Yeah. Blessings.
And hopefully nobody's hurt, and this is the last of it, but. We never know. Nowadays, it seems like another earthquake happened not too long ago. I can't remember if it was don't quote me, but it was somewhere in Asia. Yeah, recently. And their buildings, some of their buildings are actually made for earthquakes.
Oh, good.
And they showed that inside of this magnificent building that they built that is meant to support earthquakes.
Okay.
And it's weird because I believe it's at the top, they have this big like counterweight ball that it moves against the way the building ends up shaking because of the earthquake.
Okay, it has some type of resistance.
Yeah, some sort of resistance, and it's very cool to see. And there was people on this top floor while this earthquake was happening, watching the ball kind of like just do its thing in the top of the building. It was fucking crazy.
How trippy.
It's trippy, but also like they're probably like very normalized. is probably very normalized.
Yeah, that's probably a really big part of their infrastructure. It's just something that they're used to, you know? And that's what I'm
Exactly, yeah.
saying. Like, people from New York, New Jersey maybe aren't necessarily used to it. So I imagine that was an aspect of it too, like the shock factor. Whereas people in different parts of the world, maybe it's more normal and they kind of have like a deeper sense of, you know, ways that they can protect themselves. Also, their building's a little bit more secure, probably. So I imagine, like you said, it's a little bit more normal. So
Yeah, yeah. And you're supposed to just get fucking cover somewhere, underneath a table. So if debris falls from on top of you, you could
be
probably receive,
protected.
be protected somewhat. But yeah, yeah. The people from New York and New Jersey probably were very thrown off. And there's this crazy story about this guy that was having a vasectomy
Oh,
while
Lord.
this was happening. So imagine having somebody's balls on your hand while the earth is shaking uncontrollably.
Oh,
Like,
God, I'm sorry.
I'm
There's
serious.
just some comedic level to that. You
Of
gotta.
course. Doc, how my balls? We cut them off. You won't be able to have, you won't be able to have kids anymore. So the procedure was done. You're just missing something. Yeah. Where's half my ball? Jeez.
That'd be so bad.
Anyways, yeah, that was another set of news that I had. Okay. Well, not news, but situation that came up from New York. So if you're over there, take care and be very careful, because you never know what's gonna happen. We're about to have a solar eclipse.
Oh, true. It's happening tomorrow.
They say that that's supposed to trigger more earthquakes. It's all speculation, but the world is ending, ladies and gentlemen. The world is ending. How about we go to the news?
Yeah.
Okay, let's roll it then. The first set of news that I had, and more than news, is more of a episode of observation, because we just watched the Nickelodeon's the Discovery Channel Nickelodeon documentary, Quiet on Set documentary about Nickelodeon and the predators, the SA predators that were found in these kids' television shows. Yes, but kids industry more than anything, right. Acting industry, which is very intense. We watched I think it was is it a 4-part series?
It's a 4-part series. However, there is going to be a bonus episode is what they're calling it. I'm not sure when it's going to be released, but there's going to be another one.
Yeah. I was hesitant on watching it.
Okay.
I was hesitant.
Let's talk about your hesitancy.
I knew what was going to be talked about, because we've heard it on the news before, especially with the whole Dan Schneider thing, and there's been releases of pedophile and SA that has been talked about in these kids networks, and it makes me uncomfortable, because it's hard for me to see. It's important, but it's hard for me to see somebody that was SA'd tell their story, because I feel like it's very traumatizing, but not just traumatizing. It's also beyond a scar, like killing somebody's soul almost, so it's very sad to see. And it's hard to see it, you try to have empathy for people, and it's
the kids.
Yeah, the kids, adults now, right? Because some of them are
right.
adults now, and it's very fucked up what these people that were in power did to people like Drake, Bell, which is primarily one of the main. But
that story was, it hit with me in particular, and if you watch it, like, it will make more sense. But because of the way he described how his relationship with his dad progressed throughout the years, and how kind of that profession fucked up with that relationship, really would, and it was really unfair the way that it played out.
And honestly, it wasn't the profession. I want to say that it was this pickle boy motherfucker, Brian.
Yeah, but I would argue semi the profession, because that's everywhere,
yes.
in like Hollywood and stuff like that. It's kind of designed to be that way.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. And that it's totally true. And the fucked up thing about it also is that they mess with people's emotional life, but also people's dreams, people's futures. Mm-hmm. Like you're fucking with people's lives, and it all comes from power. the level of power and the naiveness of these young child actors and parents that want to be somebody's in the industry, and they get taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is what everybody's doing. This is what it's supposed to be like. And people trust these people in the industry because they
know better.
exactly, they
quote
know
unquote.
better. And that's something that happened to Drake with his dad. They had an awesome relationship. The dad was the one that took him to his auditions.
He was
He
very
was
involved.
super supportive, and
Wouldn't let him alone, actually.
exactly, because he had suspicions of this dialogue coach and abuser that got close to Drake, and he started pushing his dad away, saying that he was homophobic, because apparently he was gay, and that he was also stealing his money and just getting in his life. He was too involved to be a parent. But stupidness of that comment is just so real, because as a parent that's letting a kid work,
Yep, that's what it is.
you need to be as involved as you can.
Yep, I agree.
So that statement was so bullshit, but everybody's so caught up in that they stop forgetting that they're kids.
Yeah.
Even their own parents stop forgetting that they're kids, these child actors and child stars, and see them as a form of revenue and a way to fulfill their dreams through them. It's so fucked up what these people have to go through. And a lot of them did. Not only that, they were racist, misogynistic.
Just every fucking ism out there. They fucking represent that to a T. But
Yeah,
it's fucking disgusting how I'm not afraid to say his name. I think it's Brian Peck, right?
Brian Peck, no.
The person who essayed Drake Bell. He was just very good at manipulating a child, really. It was just taking advantage. And I think we were kind of talking about this, like, after we kind of watched that episode of, it's very sad to see these kids that really, like, do have a real passion for acting and music, because the music industry is fucking filled with that bullshit too.
It's everywhere. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's very sad that someone takes that innocence of someone's dream and, like, just fucking, like you said, they just have a fucking huge ass influence on their life. And it's kind of hard. It's hard to draw that line, because we were kind of talking about, well, should kids even be allowed to act?
Exactly.
And
yeah.
It's just,
I think kids should be allowed to act. I think it's a needed thing, and it's not for everybody. Like, you don't have thousands of kids just acting, right? It's you have to be picked out of the bunch. But if you're gonna have a kid involved in acting, you better have some good ethics.
Oh yes.
When it comes to work,
and it's very hard.
That needs to be. That needs to be supplied by the industry and by the government as well. Like, if child labor is gonna be involved.
Exactly. And it's super nuanced, because, like his case, Drake Bell's case, he did want to be really like an actor, and, like, be involved in that world. However, there's people, like, such as Jeanette McCurdy, who's, like, very openly shared her story. Like, her mom was horrible to her.
Yeah.
She was the sole breadwinner for that family, and that really messed her up. Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
and the kids start feeling pressure, and then they use that pressure against them to start making them do horrific things
that they're not comfortable with.
Just straight up a network of predators.
Right.
They're predators in that industry.
Yeah, it's very finicky, because kids are kids. They have malleable brains. It's very easy to manipulate them. And also, apart from that, like, the subliminal, and as an adult now, I don't see them as subliminal. Like, they're very obvious. But I was a Nickelodeon girl for sure. Like, I used to watch iCarly, Drake and Bell, Zoe 101, all those shows. Like, I grew up on that shit. But as a kid, there was shit that I saw.
The Amanda Show, did you?
I actually never saw. I didn't grow up with that one, but I do know there was other stuff that they showed in the documentary too. It was very gross too. I was gonna say, as a kid, there are things that maybe you're like, okay, that was kind of a weird scene, but maybe you don't necessarily see it. Like, through my child eyes, I was just like, okay, that was kind of weird, but I didn't really, like, see it, like, in a sexual way or any type of inappropriate
Well, it's an
way.
Innuendo, right? Like, you're still a kid. There's still some innocence behind it. And I think that's part of what Dan Schneider would do, that he would take advantage of the kid's innocence to write or to produce and write terrible scripts and or create terrible bits.
Well, he literally verbatim said something along the lines of like, oh, it's like great, like they do whatever I want them to. Like he said that in like a joking manner, but like when you really think about it, like it's crazy how much power this guy had.
Oh yeah, and he wanted more.
And he's not fucking locked up.
Oh no. It was like a payout of a couple more than a couple. It was like 7 million, if I can't remember, somewhere around there. But yeah, he got away with it, and now that this documentary came out, he came out and defended himself with an interview in Team TiVo on his own on Dan Schneider's, I think, YouTube channel, and he came out and started saying that he wanted to apologize and he was terrible. So sort of taking some ownership, but not necessarily. We know that he probably did some fucked up and dirty shit. Yeah. Like there's no way around it. No. And the way he treated some of the writers as well that were women. That was very
sad to see too. He had 2 women writer and they were sharing a fucking salary.
They were sharing a salary.
So unethical.
Yes, and it was unethical, especially because they were union. It's a union when it comes to the acting industry, and you're not supposed to. It's like written is one of the things that is written, and this motherfucker did not care and decided to do that with them. And once somebody spoke out, he went after them, to threaten them.
Yeah, and basically ruined her career to a certain extent.
Yes. And then in 2004, coming back, Drake was 15 and he was 41, by the way, when this was happening. This disgusting motherfucker. He was detained and processed in 2004, but essentially got out of jail with a slap on the hand. And then I believe he ended up getting hired by Disney to come and I don't know if produce or work on the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Oh shit, I didn't know.
So he was still on for a while after that.
See, this is what I'm saying. Like these type of professions, I'm like, unfortunately, you're more likely to get away with it.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much money involved in all that stuff.
Yeah, and do you think that there should be a way? I mean, there definitely should be a way, but to screen people, like okay, now that this has been discovered and it's been talked about, and even Nickelodeon does a statement at the end of every episode that they're currently trying to actively better the situation.
Very vague language.
Right, they're corporate bullshit talk. But how would you screen somebody? Like how would you screen a? Because I feel like they would go to those because of the circumstances. A lot of them do want not only the power, but they want to get involved because of child actors.
Well, what I believe is, obviously there's a concentrated amount, apparently, in Hollywood and all that stuff, but I don't think there's any like set of questions that you can ask to screen that, because they are typically very good at hiding it for at least a bit of time, they know it's something wrong. And that's the most fucked up part about it, is that they know that they're doing something wrong, but they do it anyway. But I definitely don't think like children should be left alone with solely like the staff members.
Oh yeah,
that's a big no.
Which it was a big part of what was happening.
Yes, and I just remembered that there was a bit where when the first time Brian Peck got in trouble, that I guess they sat all the kids down without the parents, and they told them, oh, like Brian's not gonna be here anymore, when really that really rubbed me off the wrong way. Like, why are you talking to the kids, especially about something like that, like without their parents being present? That would as a parent, that would certainly raise a red flag for me.
Yeah, they wanted him alone all the time. They didn't want the parents. There was a point in time where one of the voice coaches or something like that would grab the kids and then just lead them away from their parents because they needed to get dressed, or there was a lot of weird shit. And not only that, like there was a lot of work abuse too.
Oh yeah.
For instance, I believe Drake doesn't get any royalties.
Yeah,
like they don't get any royalties from his reruns. So that's what I also mean, like the government needs to be involved.
Have better child labor laws.
Exactly.
And they have gotten better, objectively across the decades, but it's still not enough. Like,
yeah, I mean,
this shit is coming up way too often. Like, they need more.
Yeah, we're not building railroads or some bullshit.
Yeah.
Here in the United States, there's been allegations of, no, not even allegations. There's it's been confirmed that there's been industries, and they have found younger younger employees, like younger than 16, I would say.
As one of the things that fills me most with rage is when a kid is put in a situation that is not fair.
And it happens.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's very heartbreaking, dude. It's so heartbreaking. But we're still here just bullshitting our way and not doing anything about it, right? But yeah. Anyways, yeah, and another thing was Amanda Vines was actually part of that as well, and they shared a little bit about her story, and oh my god, like she was so talented.
Oh yeah,
she
was very funny.
Talented.
They showed her, I think her, the first time that she was noticed by Dan Schneider was that she was at like a comedy show and she was doing like stand up.
Yeah, she was straight up doing. Yeah, she was straight up doing stand up like a boss.
Like she had a whole routine too.
No, super talented, and it's so sad. I mean, I think she has a TikTok now, and she comes out, and she's been through some rough stuff,
right?
And I'm not trying to come off judgmental or anything like that, because of especially because of the circumstances, especially of what child actors have gone through, and you could tell that Dan Schneider was very, very much close to her, because he knew that she was going to the top, and he just wanted to kind of like use her and be a leech.
Her, really.
Yeah, be a leech. And eventually it didn't end up happening because, executives said no, but it was very close. It was very close for it to happen, and these disgusting pigs end up having even more power and creating. It's a vicious cycle, man, because it's one of those things that trauma happens, and then it gets passed down, unfortunately, on to different people, and it's a fucked up thing, man.
It is pretty gruesome to hear about it and stuff. But I do really recommend whoever has access and the emotional capacity to, even though it's a hard watch, I'm not gonna lie, but watch it, because that platform was given to survivors, and those survivors, if they're telling you the story, they want someone to hear it. It's real shit that happens.
Yeah,
and it takes a lot of guts.
Yeah, and it lets you see the reality of things. It's good to see that shit, because it lets you know that life is not always bread and butter. It's fucked up a lot of the times, and it lets you also see that the industry is fucked because it's racist, is misogynistic. It's very much a power inclined, and whoever has the most power is seen as a god almost. It's
it's a power hungry beast.
It's a very power hungry beast, and these people become victims, and I'm not even gonna say victim, but they become part of that ecosystem, and it just corrupts people, honestly. Before I jump into this new set of news, unless you have anything else to add to this,
I think I mean, I don't want to talk too deeply about details, because
go watch it if you. Yeah, we just wanted to talk about it.
But overall, I feel like I said what I wanted to say.
Yeah. But before we talk about this next set of news, you had one piece of news that you wanted to touch on, right?
Yeah, I did, actually.
Let's hear yours, and then we'll come back to mine.
Have you heard about the 4B movement?
4B movement? Is that the feminist Korean group?
Yes,
Korean group?
Yes, actually. Yeah. It kind of started in South Korea, basically. But
so, I mean, I doubt that it'll be North Korea, to be quite honest. Let's be honest.
Just to emphasize. But yes, it does come out of South Korea. The number of people who actually participate in this movement is... The numbers are scattered, so I'm not going to put a number out there, but it has its origins in South Korea, from South Korean women, and basically came up as an opposition to the state itself, like, because it's very patriarchal, pro-natalist, which basically means like pro-birth, and they kind of view women as solely as like a mechanism for childbearing and continuing on like society. Like, that's a very simple way of putting it.
Yeah.
But essentially this kind of was used as a way to oppose that, and to kind of oppose patriarchal views. And essentially it's called 4B. Do you know why it's called 4B?
I know that it was something because it has 4 B words in the movement.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But I don't know what those Korean words are.
Yes. They'd all start with B. So the 4 no's are what they called. So the first no is no sex with men.
Okay.
The second is no child rearing. The third one is no dating men, and then the fourth one is no marrying men.
Okay.
So essentially, it's kind of used as a way of protest, and also like it's very it's gained a lot of traction in the digital world. It's that digital
as things do.
Yes, as things do. I would argue it's gained some traction here in the United States too.
Oh shit.
It is kind of a growing movement, just because like I think women are just getting fucking tired of men's bullshit. If I'm being quite honest, like
yeah. Well, and it's the whole thing where there's no patriarchal system within our laws or the way we run things.
Of it.
Yeah. And it's very evident that there is.
It's very deeply rooted.
Yeah.
And then it's just kind of used as like
who wrote it, motherfuckers?
Who did it?
Yeah, who read it?
Who created the system?
Exactly. Come on.
Yeah, but it's kind of used as a platform for women to vent their frustrations about men, kind of fostering a sense of solidarity between women as well.
Hey, I respect it, honestly. I fucking respect it.
Yeah, so they kind of using this as a way to oppose, like a fuck you to the system, like we're not fucking dealing with this anymore, kind of rejecting gender roles as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some women that have been known to like intentionally like stop wearing makeup to like not fulfill like the beauty standard or whatever. Some women have been shaving their heads.
Oh wow, just completely revolutionary. Are they like, is there a toxic side of this, do you think?
I was actually about to bring up another element to it.
I don't want to talk about any negative stuff because I'm a man, so I really can't.
Well, here's where men come into the picture. Okay. I was just scrolling through TikTok and I saw this guy like doing a live stream of something called the 4G movement. Okay.
All right.
So first of all, that's a fucking. I tried to look for the meaning behind the name, and like I googled it, but I guess it's kind of a very very new movement. I say quote unquote.
Yeah, it's like
I couldn't find like an article or something about it. So this is kind of new material.
It's like the rash that came after the bite, right?
No, it is, and it's kind of ironic because they also have like a 4 no's, like men. This is like a movement for men. No sex.
You were already not having sex, bro.
I
Like,
know.
You're incel as fuck. You were not tapping. No sex. Okay, continue.
No time spent with women.
Dude, spending time with your mom does not qualify, okay? That's the fault. She's like your bro by this age, bro, because you're fucking 37 and living with your mom. Okay, continue.
Third one is no provision, which I think means like no providing things for women.
You weren't thinking about it. You don't even have a job. Stop it. Stop being a dumbass.
And then the fourth one is no babies. So like when you really think about it, there's an irony to this because the 4B movement is kind of in a way already asking for that, and men are kind of willingly doing that, but also in their own fucked up kind of way they think it's like a fuck you to women when really it's what women want.
My God. Ay, Dios mío.
So I wanted,
like Luis says, gran poder, help me. What the fuck,
I know,
man?
and as a man, I wanted to get your perception on that. Like, I have things to say, but I want to know your thoughts about it first.
It's fucking stupid. It's ridiculous. Like, there's no logic that went into this movement, apparently. So it's a fuck up and flawed movement because of that logic.
Well, this kind of what I was referencing earlier when we were talking about that video that you saw on TikTok about how there's a day for transgender visibility. And how Trump wanted to make the day of Christian visibility. Yeah. I think that's just like an example of, like, obviously those are two very separate issues.
Right.
But it's kind of an example of how a lot of the times when there's a movement for something really like positive, for a group of people that really do like need more attention or more visibility, and then there seems to be like always a counter movement because we're like, oh, you're not respecting my identity, you're not respecting, and in this case, like my manlyhood, and
you honestly, cannot think different than me. What is wrong with you, woman?
Exactly. It's just my perception of it is that their egos got bruised.
Oh yeah, very much.
And they're like, no, it's kind of similar to like how at least it made me think about it, and I don't know if like it connects to you as well, but sometimes when I've noticed when guys sense like that a girl is gonna break up with them, they break up with them first.
Yeah.
It kind of gave me that vibe, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, no, fuck you. Like, I'm gonna do it to you first.
Which is the most insecure bullshit ever, by the way.
That's
It's
what
so
I'm
insecure.
saying. There's like, they don't see like how ironic it is that this is exactly what the women that are part of the 4B movement want, you know?
Yeah.
They want you to fucking stay away from them, and they think that it's a big fuck you to them. So I mean, I'm all for the 4G movement, you know, like you stay away from women, you know, like
you probably are disgusting men that need to stay away from women if you
Right.
have that mentality.
Yes.
You know, if that's your mentality, because my mentality is not staying. I respect the movement. You know, there needs to be a change, obviously, in Korea, in North America, everywhere in the world. You know, this is very much a thing, and everybody expresses that the feminism in different aspects, and that's very respectable as long as they're not injuring anybody.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, as long as there's no,
well, they're injuring men's egos.
yes, that, and I don't want people thinking that I don't care about men, right? Oh, where's the camaraderie? You know, how come if men get the shit end of the stick, people don't really care about it? Because it's a retaliation based on just that, an ego being hurt, and not actually meaning to do a change for what? For your own benefit, really.
Yes, exactly. That's kind of when you look at the issue from a wider lens, that's what it is, you know.
Exactly,
Men are still not this is very generalizable, but I would argue most men are still not seeing how the patriarchy is most damaging to them as well.
Yes, it's very repressing, dude. It's very repressing in a lot of ways, and there's a level of expectation. Fuck, dude. There's people that commit because they're too men to admit that they can't provide for their family because it's so ingrained in their head. And fuck that, dude. It's a collective thing. It's not just men and women. You know, it's everybody.
Right.
And we need to be all treated to a level of equality.
Yeah. So I mean, about the 4G movement in general, like I kind of have mixed feelings about it. Like the root of why that movement started is because men's egos were bruised, but I'm kind of for it in a way because they don't see how dumb that logic is, and really in that movement they're really giving what women want, so they're not really saying fuck you, they're saying like, okay, like,
if anything, they're just neutralizing the cause.
Exactly.
Like, you're just neutralizing it, and it's still gonna happen.
Exactly.
You're not doing anything about it, really. No. Come on, think a little better if you're gonna be doing bullshit like that.
Yeah.
No, and that's what happens when it's an emotional movement like that. It's not thought out. It's mere emotion. My, you know. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I'm gonna have to cut that out.
Well, I think just like the overall problem is that they don't care to know like why women started this movement, like overall. And it kind of reminded me of this other piece of news that it's kind of short, but I want to
go ahead.
Something that happened locally here in Denver. It happened in Glendale for people who really
Glendale.
Yeah. But something really, really scary happened, and
I have a pretty scary. Sorry to interrupt, but
good.
I have a scary story about Lakewood. So.
Oh, okay, but so essentially, and this is from a story that I saw a user on TikTok kind of relay, so I'm gonna relay it to the best of my ability. But essentially, this girl was just walking, like taking a walk in broad daylight, and, you know, just kind of enjoying the sunlight. And then she kind of saw, I think she was on a trail or something like that, and she saw a man and a woman. They weren't walking together, but they were kind of like walking the opposite way of her. So she kind of scooted over to like make room, not cause like a traffic jam, essentially, you know, as you do when you're walking and there's other people on the same trail.
There's always like awkward etiquette when it comes to walking.
That's another topic.
Yeah.
But so she kept walking, she went past them, and then all of a sudden she heard screaming like behind her.
Oh shit.
And then she turned around and she saw that the man was like brutally like hitting this other woman, like beating her and like exposing her private parts too.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and just like beating the shit out of her essentially. And so, I mean, I commend this woman for walking up to this guy and like actually like trying to defend, you know, the woman. And they got injured, like the women. There was a big there was an altercation, like a physical altercation. And then eventually the man like runs away. Um, the girl who's telling the story, she said that she like ran into a gas station, and the gas station people were really nice to her, and they kind of scoped the area a bit to like look for the guy because he was like being a menace. And I guess he was also be careful with my language because I don't want you to get like censored or something, but he, I guess, like in the gas station,
We
he
can
was
just bleep it.
okay. Well, he was rubbing his basically on people's cars, like in the gas station.
Damn.
And he was being disgusting, dude. Like he was being so repulsive. So I don't know. I mean, it's just shit like that happens that makes you scared. Like as a woman, makes you scared for even just walking outside, even in the broad daylight. Like I was telling you the other day that it was super nice, and like I had just gotten done with work, and I was like, I kind of want to go for a walk. But I like there was a part of me that like I didn't want to because I was scared of like of that type of shit happening to me.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't like doing anything by myself. I would love to do shit by myself. I would probably say I'm more independent than dependent on other people. But I mean, it's just for that mere reason that I don't like going out by myself, And so it's just like kind of like a cautionary tale, like always be aware of your surroundings. Like
wear your brass knuckles.
Yeah, wear something. Like
if you're a woman, you should be allowed to have brass knuckles.
Of course.
But fuck that shit, dude.
Of course. And it just makes me. We went out the other day too, and we'll talk about that later. Yeah. But like throughout the night, we were seeing like girls walk by themselves, and it's just it's very hard to see. I like to say a little prayer for women that are just like walking by themselves because you never fucking know.
Oh my god, dude, so, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible to. Men don't know about that fucking fear. Don't unless you live in somewhere where it's very dangerous for everybody. But but on average, yeah, women are the ones that are always at risk of a creep following them or attacking them. Yeah, in the middle of the night. And guys, we can at least say, well, shit can happen, but at least it's a 50-50 if you would, where if it's a guy and a girl, your chances are very much less because of
right. And also, just a quick update about the story. That man was arrested. Thank God. Like he was arrested. So.
Do you think he had any psychological problems?
To be honest, it's really hard for me to tell just based on the information that was relayed. But I mean, when we're talking about like psychological like conditions and shit like that, I'm not really one who likes to put like a label even on that. But there was definitely something like wrong with this guy. Like
yeah. Well, with that set of news, we can tap into these other ones that I had. Yes, the liquid, which is another fucked up set of news, unfortunately. Well, the police in Lakewood have obtained an arrest warrant for a man that has been accused of stealing thousands of dollars worth of items, primarily women's and children's underwear, from an apartment complex laundry room in Lakewood, Colorado. Yeah, so this has been going on for the past 3 years, but this last year in July 2023, that is when they get this national warrant to get this guy obtained. His name is Hugo Salazar Hernandez. He was 39 at the time. He might be older now, but this happened last year primarily, and they've been kind of dragging this along to late December, January, because they still haven't caught him. And yeah, so he got charged with theft and burglary for this, and apparently more than 500 items of evidence were found during the research of Hernandez's residence, the police reported.
That is so repulsive.
The items belong to more than 30 victims between the ages of 6 and 69, and it said that the items total cost was around nearly $30,000. So this guy would go in to the apartment complex, to the laundry rooms, and would be looking through people's laundry.
Heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, would go through people's laundry and steal it for his own good. And one of the victims, and this is one of the stories that one of the victims told, is the man came into her home through the window in July of 2023 while her roommate was sleeping. The roommate found the intruder holding a sex toy in his mouth and rummaging through a box of intimate items, ignoring the money, medication, and electronics in the house. After the man pushed the roommate into the wall, she stabbed him twice with a knife.
Good. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, for real. Though the wounds were pretty shallow, the victim said the man ran before the police arrived at the scene. But he returned 3 weeks later and again at the end of October.
To that same spot?
Yes. The victim caught footage of him. So they have footage of how he looks like on a security camera during his second visit.
First of all, how stupid you gotta be to go to the same spot?
Yeah, this person probably doesn't, either something's wrong with his head or
I'm sure of that.
He's hyped up on drugs or something.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah. Right now there's a $2,000 reward being offered. Still out there? Yes, I'm telling you.
Oh man. Yeah. That makes my skin crawl.
They haven't reported any other incidents after that because they've been investigating him for a while, which is ridiculous how long it takes. Jesus Christ.
Right?
Like
Shit.
3 years.
Imagine how many more people he's harmed.
Oh yeah. And yeah, he's just been going. He was going to different buildings, getting laundry from different people and keeping it and storing it.
Fucking A, that is so disturbing.
Yeah. You can report it if you guys live in Denver, Metro Denver Crime Stoppers at 720-913-7867 if you guys know or hear something about it.
I'm gonna look up a picture of him. That'd be wild to fucking see him. Is he like Latino? Or
I think he is Latino, yeah, based on his name. So
Jesus.
Yeah.
I can't understand that. Like, why would you fucking do that? Like,
I told you guys today's episode was gonna be very charged with things that were fucked up.
Well, I think the worst part is that he's still like not locked up.
Yeah.
And the age thing got me. Like, that's a very like, it's one thing like for me to be able to digest if they were older women, but when it's fucking kids, like that's just fucking sick, dude. No fucking respect or empathy for you.
Yeah. What do you think should be the penalty?
Fucking chop his dick off.
Just mutilate his dick.
Yeah, I don't fucking care. Like, you want to fucking tinkle with your fucking stick to fucking other people's underwear? That's assault. I think that's a type of assault.
It's definitely a very much a form of assault.
Fucking, yeah, chop his dick off.
There you go.
I don't fucking care.
Damn. Give him a vasectomy and make sure that there's a fucking earthquake.
Yeah, actually.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, it caught me off guard because I read it this earlier this week and I'm just like, God damn, like this shit happening.
That's so local.
Fucking
that's
miles away from here,
yeah,
like just a couple miles away from here.
Right.
God
I think
damn.
that's one of the most disturbing details, that it's so close.
Yeah.
It always hits different when something happens close to you.
Yeah. And see, who's the victim? Women.
There you go.
It wasn't men's underwear.
No.
I'm sorry you have to go through that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
At least I have a good one.
We don't try to bring dark things all the time, but sometimes it's just what's out there in the world, and you know, what can I do, guys? It's just what's out there, and honestly, it's fucked up, but it needs to be talked about as well because it happens way too often. This bullshit.
Well, and it wouldn't be authentic to be here talking about other shit when we know we've got other shit on our minds, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what's popping off.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is the world you guys live in. Let's lighten up things. You've been watching The Last Airbender, right?
Oh yes, I would love to talk about it.
So yes, I want you to talk about it because I want that to be the TV recommendation.
Yes, please.
You watched the series completely, right?
Yes.
So as a person that watched the series,
the animated series, correct?
The animated series, exactly. Yes. What do you think?
Wow.
What's the comparison?
Wow, honestly,
so far.
So I do know that there's confirmed 2 and 3 seasons. They confirmed it not too long ago. So I'm very happy about that.
Good.
But honestly, I love it so far. The depictions, the casting, chef's kiss. The casting is amazing, especially the individual who plays Sokka. I think he's my favorite Like,
Oh, really?
Sokka and Zuko. I think their interpretations are like so spot on, and
They're that character.
yes, they truly are. I feel like they really embody that character. No, not to not shed a light on everybody else, because I honestly do think the casting is probably one of the best aspects of the show itself.
Yeah, it's all Asian, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
at least from what I've seen.
Yeah, which is
True
accurate.
to the story.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true to the story. But I really love. Obviously, there's things that are gonna be different, and I went into it knowing that maybe some things in the storyline are going to be different. It's not. It has to be different. It's a different type of show.
Yes.
The animated series, you can do things. Whenever anything is animated, you can do different things that maybe you wouldn't be able to do in live action.
Yeah, they fall outside of the imagination in a way.
Exactly. However, I think they've really stuck really well to the storyline. They've been able to kind of develop things in a different way that I've really appreciated.
Because essentially it is sort of the same story, but it's being told in a different way,
yes,
right?
Exactly. And they're showing, different aspects. I really like the character arc right now of Azula, which is Zuko's sister. I think they're doing a really good job with that. So they're also giving you things that you don't see in the animated series.
Okay.
So I think a lot of the times when there's like a animated series and then there's a live action, which live action is pretty like it's kind of a trending thing right now.
Oh yeah, I think Netflix has a couple projects that they're gonna be working.
Yes.
Legend of Zelda and.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna look forward to that one too. I'm really curious what they're gonna do with that one. But I think a common mistake that people make.
One Piece.
Oh yeah, One Piece. Oh, I just remembered we haven't finished that.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot about it. Sorry, I was liking it. But
No, you're good.
I got priorities. But I think a common mistake that people make when they're really fanatics of like an animated show and they turn it into a live action is that they need everything to be fucking exactly like it. Which to me doesn't make sense, because if you want the exact same thing, then why are you even watching the live action if you've already seen it?
Yeah. It defeats the purpose in a way.
Exactly. So I have really positive things to say. My critiques are what's the saying, few and far between. Even the dressing, or what is it? The costumes. The costumes are amazing. Attire. The attire is really good, really spot on. I will say I was a little confused because I wasn't sure how they were gonna break up the series. If the series itself, because there's I don't remember how many episodes there were in the first season. But I was confused for a minute because I thought they were going to try to fit the whole animated series into the one season.
I gotcha.
So I was just like, okay, like when is the next step in the story coming? Like I was like, are they going to have enough time for it? But then later, I think I had like maybe like a dumb moment, or like I was just like, okay, well maybe there's going to be more seasons,
Yeah, well, and you never know because a project can be cut off just like that.
That's true.
Look at what happens in Disney.
Right.
To Marvel. Well, to start wrapping things up, how about we go to this section called What's Your Bop? Deanna, do you want to open up with What's Your Bop? What's something that you've been listening to over the week?
Yes, I think I will do a song from Grupo Frontera.
Okay, changing it up.
Yeah,
okay, I like
switch it up. It's called Ojitos Rojos.
Ojitos Rojos. Oh, okay. What kind of context is that in, huh? Just like this Wakanda Forever mask.
Yeah, Ojitos Rojos.
Black Panthers. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ojitos Rojos.
Yeah, it's just a good bop. You can sing along to it. It has a cool message too, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Go listen to it on the Yolking Ecstasy playlist. The one that I have was from Joe, DJO, End of Beginning.
Okay.
Which is this band that the guy from Stranger Things.
The guy who's Steve, right?
Steve, yeah. Steve from Stranger Things. Joe Keery. Or Joseph, I believe.
But I'm second guessing. Is that his name, Steve? And is that his character's name?
Yeah, Steve.
Okay,
now you're right.
I was second guessing.
Steve in Stranger Things, the guy with a big head. Well, he doesn't have a big head. He's just a very voluminous, big clump of hair.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't know he had a band, and apparently he has this band or group that he plays in. His artist name is Joe, DJO, sorry. And yeah, there's this song, End of Beginning, that has gained popularity. I was listening to it. It's kind of like an alternative type of song, and I didn't even know he had a band. And one day I keep hearing it, and then I saw on TikTok that it was his song, and I was like blown away.
Yeah, you were telling me that he kind of does that you feel like he does kind of like a character when he.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't read too much about it, but from what I've seen, it looks like a lot of people, a lot of celebrities have like this uh, ulterior. What's it called?
Oh,
The
alter ego.
alter ego,
Okay.
exactly. So I feel like it might be like an alter
Okay, kind
ego
of
for
like
him.
a Hannah Montana type of thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana. Uh, so I think that's the energy that I got from it.
Okay,
Go
cool.
listen to it. It'll be on the playlist. It's a great
Hell
song. It's a
yeah.
good song. And but before we end, we also to finalize, we went to see
Oh
Kashmir.
yeah, the TJ.
Yeah, this was your first time seeing Kashmir. We went to see this very famous American, and he has Indian roots as well. He's called Niles Hallowell Dar. He's 35 and he performed at the infamous church
Oh man.
downtown. This guy worked with the Cataracts back
Yeah, I
in
didn't know that. When he
2010.
played that song by the Cataracts, I'm like, oh, that
Yeah,
was like, I guess
and
he
my
said.
bass down low. I like my bass down low.
Well, he said that that was the first song that he had produced to actually gain traction, right?
Yeah, great Bob. I mean,
Like
you
a
heard it that night. Yeah.
G6.
Oh, and then yeah, he also worked with Far East Movement and did the Like a G6 song,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is a fucking banger. I remember when those songs came out
Oh man,
back in like 2010.
what a time to be alive.
Those were the good old days, as they say.
I wasn't old enough to party like that, but I was still bopping to that music.
I was 18.
Okay.
I was around 18.
That was a good time for music.
That was, honestly, I miss those days,
Yeah.
man. Hip hop was popping. Hip hop was actually popping. Now, apparently, the new trend that I've been hearing is disco rap is becoming
Oh
a
shit, I
thing.
never heard of that.
Yeah.
Have you
Well,
listened to it a little
yeah,
bit of it?
it's
You like it?
I fuck with it.
Alright.
Well, I like disco and I like
Yeah.
rapping, so
It just
both of them go
yeah,
together
just
pretty
seems
good.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to imagine what it sounds like, but I'll look into that. But yeah, Kashmir, I feel like he killed it. You know, he has a very youthful essence about him, and he's still
Yeah.
young. You know,
He's 35.
yeah, I feel like that's still young, but I feel like he really knew how to work the crowd. He knew what the crowd needed, like music wise. He was a vibe for sure.
Yeah, and he uses a lot of his Indian roots
Yes,
to incorporate into his
yes.
songs.
That's also something that I like is that he's not ashamed of his culture, which he shouldn't be. You know, he's proud of his culture
Yeah.
and representing that too. So I really think that's a beautiful example of how you can blend music together.
Yeah, yeah, and great DJ to go watch. So if you guys
Oh yes, definitely.
can see him, go watch him.
Yeah.
And I saw him a while back, so I didn't know. A lot of DJs don't keep up with the times, and let's be honest, even though they're famous and you know their sets can be a little weak. This wasn't the case with Kashmir.
Ecotech.
Come on, Ecotech.
He came on before Cash.
Yeah, yeah, and I love Ecotech, but
Yeah,
you
I
know,
mean,
he
I
was
do
just
too,
not delivering this time.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, go listen to Kashmir as well if you guys have a chance. If you guys like EDM, and I'm going on a trip soon, so
Yeah,
I'm
you're
going
gonna
to
have
EDC Vegas soon.
yeah,
So
you're gonna have
hopefully
to tell
everything
me
goes
all
good.
about that after you come back.
Oh my god, if I can remember. But with that, how about we start closing?
Sounds good to me.
Do you have anything else you want to add before?
No, I mean just just keep a positive energy about yourself. You know, there's a lot of negativity in the world, but just be. Sounds cheesy, but just be the best person you can.
Yeah, yeah, and I know we talked about some dark shit.
Yeah.
Don't linger on it. Just know that this shit happens, and yeah, just be careful. You
Yeah.
know, just be careful.
Watch
and
out for other people.
yeah, watch out for other people. Thank you for saying that. That's so true, man. A lot of people are so selfish, and that is something that is very much needed. Looking after each other.
More community.
Yeah. With that, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Feel free to subscribe, give us a like, follow us, click all the buttons underneath. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
And stay tuned for the Mofongo War podcast that
Ooh.
we'll probably be working on this next weekend.
Sweet.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.